Hello, everybody. I'm glad you're here today. Today is January 22nd, 2026. Are you bracing for the winter storm that is coming and affecting nearly half of the United States of America? I am. I am getting ready for this storm to hit. I live in the panhandle of Texas, and it is supposed to get bad. Basically, I think I'm not sure we haven't had worse, y'all. I'm just going to lay that out there right now. But regardless, I am getting ready, even though I do think it is a good day to be a prepper already. And you and I both know what that feels like. If you have, this is what we always say, you never know when these events are going to happen. This is the most likely scenario of my life that I prepare for. Because when the power goes out, y'all, and I believe this storm might knock my power out, then you have to have backup plans. And today is not the day to start planning. It's too late. You may be able to squeak by and find a generator. You may be able to find some solar batteries somewhere. Good luck. Good luck, because I already know, I've already heard through the grapevine, store shelves are being emptied. Water, bottled water, is being bought up like crazy. Today is the day. It's finally dawning on people. I better get ready for this storm. Granted, the weather people have been talking to us all week and saying, I could get anywhere from 1 inch to 1,369 inches of snow. That's what I'm hearing. That's what has been like going on in my mind the last 3 days. I'm like, I don't know. They're all over the place. It's going to go north, going to go south, going to go north, but don't count on these numbers. Do I sit and listen to it? Yes, I do. Even though I'm like, yep, I don't think you should be talking about this unless you really know what we need to get ready for. But I cannot not watch. Okay, I'm just saying. Now then, I have in this video, I'm going to tell you three prepping items you might need to get. This would be a good day to get it if you can find them, okay? I'm going to talk about what we've been doing to get ready for this storm. Among other things in the world, there's still disaster going on around the world geopolitically. Y'all, just because the storm is coming does not mean everything else has stopped. So, here is my thought for today when it comes to the world. Y'all, let me check my notes here. Got my notes. My notes. When I came out here to make this video, gold was $4,933 an ounce. $4,933 an ounce. Y'all, that is nearly $5,000. And I have often heard through the years, especially around 2020, 2021, I heard speculation, all of these analytical people saying as soon as the gold gets to 5,000, it's like world war chaos, the whole thing's crashing. Well, dang it, we're awfully close to 5,000 now, and I don't see a lot of crashing going on at this moment. Does that mean it's not going to? I don't know. But I know there's a snowstorm coming I'm getting ready for, and I'm getting ready for the ice. Oh my word. Okay, before I go into that, silver is at $96 an ounce. So if you bought silver back in 2020 when it was $17 an ounce, well done you. You may have bought silver way back even before the pandemic when it was, what, $8 an ounce? I don't know. Well done you. So, I say all of that to say this. Apparently, we're getting Greenland. The World Economic Forum did it just end? I know it. I think it did. I think it's over. That thing was like, everybody's on board now, it seems like, for Greenland to be part of the United States in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's where I'm at with Greenland. I'm like, I don't know, y'all. Y'all are like, look, we have business partners in Denmark that are Danish, and we love them and care for them. And I was like, this thing could cause us to get a divorce with them. I'm not sure, I don't know. But regardless, we've been well, Mike has been to Denmark a couple of times, several times. My parents have, and you know, I I'm like, okay, get out the popcorn. I'm just watching that. I never did think it was going to come to fighting, like violent, fight like war. I never thought that. I thought they're going to come to an agreement. They've got to, and they just got to sweeten the pot a little bit. I don't know. I think most of what they do is just a big fat show, just to entertain us. All right. So I'm like, okay, Greenland, part of the United States, let's roll. That's good. Let's just do it and quit talking about it. That's kind of how I feel. Like piss or get off the pot. That's where I'm at with Greenland. All right. Now, when it comes to other places, I know Iran is confusing to me. I'm not understanding the timing on it. I'm not understanding the narrative coming from Washington. It I don't I'm watching it. I know we're building up our assets over there. It's this ding 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 round two, I guess. I when it happens, it happens, and we'll just watch it. It doesn't matter that I'm about to be slammed by a big winter storm. They're still building up assets over there. So that is telling to me. I and I don't mean to laugh, y'all. I'm not laughing. I know that we have had dreams, my family in particular, and I know y'all have had dreams where there is an indication of a major, major, major conflict in that area of the world. I know some of you interpret the Bible that way, and I'm not. I don't understand all of that enough to even speak about it. But I that whatever, I know it's all part of the whole puzzle piece of the world. So anyway, so that's going on. Now, when it comes to what I'm doing today, what Mike and I are doing today, and what we're making our kids get ready to do because our adult children live with us, here's what we're doing. And my mom and dad, because my elderly parents live with us too. So, as a family, we are all down to get ready. Okay, prepping is how we live. We choose to be, and very deliberately live, to be as self-sufficient as possible. Uh, and we actually have the luxury to be as self-sufficient as we want to be. I don't know how long that will last, but that is how it is now. So, first, the one thing that I think of course, the health and well-being of the people in the home. My mind goes to food, water, heat. Are we going to be warm enough? Are we going to be well fed? And are we going to have enough water? So when I am assuming we will probably lose power. Honestly, I'm just between you and me. Honestly, I'd be surprised if we lose power. We're not on ERCOT. So where I live in Texas is not on ERCOT. So I don't know what's going to happen with ERCOT. That's their dilemma and I don't know. So the grid I'm on in the state of Texas is going to be heavily impacted down the line by this storm. I'm wondering about rolling blackouts. I'm wondering about how they're going to choose to run the electricity, to who is going to get it. And I'm also wondering if just the impact of the storm is going to knock the lines down so I can't have electricity. I mean, honestly, Libby hit one day, Libby hit the telephone pole or the high wire pole going to school and knocked that down, and our electricity was off for half a day because the line went down. So that can happen, y'all. That can happen. One time an owl flew into the transmission lines, or the what is it called? The power station place, the big place. Anyway, an owl flew in there, messed us up in the middle of the night. It was in the summer and it got really hot because the air conditioning is essential where I live. So those are things that can happen just randomly. This storm, what are you hearing and what are you doing to get ready where you're at? This morning, one of the first things that Mike said is, I'm getting our radio set up in good shape. I'm checking it, making sure we're connected. That's our ham radio. So he and Taylor both have that's my daughter, both have their license and are ham radio operators. At the moment, y'all, and turned over a new leaf, and I am learning Morse code. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving the process. So if you want to learn Morse code, there are apps you can get, and then there are also techniques you can use. If you'll just get on YouTube and look at different ways people learn Morse code. And I'll tell you something. The reason I want to learn Morse code is because on the series Jericho, with the nuclear bomb series Jericho, I mean, I love that series. There is a time where Hawkins, one of the characters, which I would love to fancy myself as a Hawkins, but I am not in any way, shape, or form. But I'm like, oh, he's such a badass. I'd love to be. Yeah, like he is cool, a cool cucumber in all situations. Anyway, he was put to the task of listening to an old ham radio, and he came across a station, and you could hear the Morse code on it. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it was really helpful information. So I thought, after I saw it this last time, I thought, I need to learn Morse code. And how it's so available for us to learn. So anyway, you might take a gander at that and see if that's something for you. But Mike got our radio situation up and running and in good shape. Everything, we're connected. We have the scanners connected. We have our radio connected. We're hitting the repeaters and I don't understand all that stuff, y'all. But anyway, we're all set up. We're a go. It's a go on the radio. Now I have been cooking and getting my parents' RV weatherized to withstand this 2-degree temperature that we are about to experience. We have experienced minus 17 degrees in the Texas Panhandle where I'm at. 2 feels like Florida to me. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to be snarky, but I'm like, it's not going to be that cold for very long. It is not going to get above freezing for like 4 or 5 days, that concerns me probably more than the snow and the potential ice. We are supposed to have 2 to 3 tenths of ice. We're going to get pellet guns and shoot the tree limbs to knock our ice off so that we won't have any tree limbs down in our yard. And that's my son's job. So that is what my son does. He's going to be doing that. He's also doing the heavy lifting on all the firewood. So we're making sure our firewood is covered. Our firewood is available right out the door, the garage door, where we can easily access it, have it accessible without having to go out in the weather. So he's also moving the heavy firewood, the big logs that'll last for hours. He's the one doing, it's handy to have a young man in the house to do that kind of work. And anyway, so that's his job. So we're getting the firewood, we're getting the radio. I've been cooking. I made party mix. I made cookies. I'm going to make a big pot of chili. I've gotten other what would it be called, meal plans that are easy, one skillet kind of meal plans. That would be like sausage, like Hillshire Farm sausage. Just cook it with some rice, boom, we're good. If you want a vegetable, open up a can of green beans or grab an apple, which is a fruit, out of the refrigerator. I'm not worried about our food in the freezers because it's going to be so cold outside. We can set stuff outside, but we also have alternative energy electricity sources. So We are also checking all our different sources of energy, electricity that we have available to us that we set up years ago. So if you are scrambling today and going, I need some electricity. Here, I want to show you this one thing that might help you. Y'all, I gotta get me a better chair in here. Okay, this is a solar battery. I'm not going to tell you all there is to know about this battery because I flat don't know. But it does, right, it has been plugged into the grid. I mean, it has been plugged in right in the plug-in in my wall, okay? So it's charged. This is actually my mom and dad, so I'll be taking it out to their RV later, probably tomorrow when it's supposed to hit. But this has plug-ins. It has connections. It has a flashlight right there. It has charging stations for your devices. Y'all, it wasn't very much money, and it came with a big solar panel. So if we don't have grid, we can put that solar panel out there and charge this. So this is a minimal, this isn't going to run your refrigerator, but it is going to keep your stuff charged, and it is going to probably allow you to get a cup of coffee or, those kinds of easy things that we like, that make being stranded without electricity a little easier. So you might be able to find some of these at Walmart, or if you live close to an Amazon warehouse where they deliver same day. I don't know. I don't even know how that works. But anyway, you might want to think about getting this today if there are any left. I mean, it's getting down to where, man, if you didn't get it yesterday, it ain't there. Propane is another thing you might want to, if you've got stuff running on propane. But you know that. You know that. If you have a generator, make sure your gasoline is there. If it's a propane gasoline, dual fuel, I don't know about generators. My husband's walked me through it. I'm like, I hope he doesn't die because I'm not going to be able to run this thing. That's kind of how I feel. So get you some form of electricity. All right. And good luck with that. This is another thing. This is our walkie-talkie. In case cell service goes down, we can communicate with my mom and dad easily. Well, clearly we can nearly open the door and talk to them now, which is great. But, at the same time, during the night or whatever, we are able to, they can get a hold of us and we them and just pick this up and start talking. So you might think about getting walkie-talkies as a beginning communication thing, because even Verizon went down last week, y'all. I know a lot of people didn't have cell service. So you know what I'm talking about. A CB radio, walkie-talkies, a ham radio. All of these things are ways to communicate. Be thinking about that, although today may be just, I can just grab some of these because they might be available still, and people haven't thought about them. Very essential. Oh, y'all, I don't even know if I can lift this. Let me see here. Y'all, this is just common sense, all right? This is a jug of water that I got years ago, and I just put fresh water in it. Now, I've got fresh water stored for drinking, but I also have a lot of water that we've stored over the years it's not like I didn't like, it's months old. And that would be like we could drink it, of course, it's not a big deal. I think it might taste kind of old, but we would use it for other things like washing dishes or flushing the toilet or whatever. And of course, you can always fill your bathtub. Y'all, you can always fill your bathtub. Get a Bob bag. Oh, I have one right there. I wonder if I should go get it. I'm not going to. Get on Amazon and get a Bob bag, or Walmart. And it's an actual liner for your bathtub, and you can fill it up. It has a pump thing with it, and I've never used it. I've never opened it. I've never had to, but bathtub will hold a lot of water. So I'm not going to worry about water storage because I have so much already. But If our power goes out, I might scramble to do some other things. So those three things, some kind of power source, battery of some kind to charge your stuff, walkie-talkie to communicate, water. Those are things you might think about, like today, this afternoon. Don't put it off. Don't put it off. We're in the window of time where you better hustle. You better hustle. Okay, so those are just some ideas for you. Now then, obviously the most important way to prepare is to get your soul ready to meet God, because we're going to one of these days be face to face with him. And I'm going to just read Romans 6, because this sums up so beautifully how you can become a believer in Jesus Christ. And if you're not a believer, please listen to this. These are the words of the Holy Spirit through our brother Paul. He was writing to the Romans, and this is just really step by step ways, the way, the way to become a follower of Jesus Christ and understand what he's done for us. And that in all of this scenario of disaster, of cataclysmic winter storm coming my way, God is in control and he will take care of me. So I'm not afraid. Sometimes I get a little anxious, not going to lie, but I'm not afraid. He's right beside me. So here is Romans chapter 6, verse 1. Well then, should we keep on sinning so that God can show us more and more of his wonderful grace? Of course not. Since we have died to sin, how can we continue to live in it? Or have you forgotten that when we were joined with Christ Jesus in baptism, we joined him in his death? For we died and were buried with Christ by baptism. And just as Christ was raised from the dead by the glorious power of the Father, now we also may live new lives. You want a new life? This is it. Since we have been united with him in his death, we will also be raised to life as he was. We know that our old sinful selves were crucified with Christ so that sin might lose its power in our lives. Thank you, Jesus. We are no longer slaves to sin. For when we died with Christ, we were set free from the power of sin. And since we died with Christ, we know we will also live with him. We are sure of this because Christ was raised from the dead, and he will never die again. Death no longer has any power over him. When he died once to break the power of sin. But now that he lives for the glory of God. So you also should consider yourselves to be dead to the power of sin and alive to God through Christ Jesus. Jesus is the only way to the Father. Find out who he is. If you've fallen away from him, turn back. You can never go too far unless you just absolutely decide you don't want him at all. But if you think, hey, I need to make some changes in my life, do it now. There's no downside to it. He loves you very much. Just remember that. He loves you very much. He's conquered death. That means we have too, for those of us who believe in Jesus and follow him. All right, I'm going to leave all that with you. If you're getting ready, you better hurry. I'm going to go back in the kitchen and see what has to be done. I know I've got a list. So anyway, I didn't talk about my chickens either. They're going to be just fine. My chickens be fine. So anyway, I'll let y'all have that. Stay safe, America. I mean, really, stay safe, America. From the pantry, this is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.